Have you ever noticed that toxic people think they're unpredictable? Like they're some mysterious riddle, some psychological puzzle no one can figure out. Here's the twist they don't see coming. They're incredibly readable. And once you know what to look for, you can see their next move before they even think it. Their little jabs, their manipulative pauses, their fake confusion, their guilt trips and reality flips, it's all a script. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to read that script like it's printed in bold and outsmart them at their own game. Part 1. How to read toxic people like a book. Let's be brutally honest for a second. Most people don't realize they're being manipulated. Not because they're stupid or naive, but because toxic people don't attack you head on. They study you quietly, subtly, like someone flipping through the first chapter of a book, trying to understand the main character before the story even starts. Here's where their story always begins. 1. The pinprick test. Toxic people start with what I call the pinprick moments. Tiny, seemingly harmless comments that feel like a tap on the shoulder, but land like a needle under the skin. You've heard them before. Relax, you're so tense. Someone woke up sensitive today. It was just a joke. Chill. And then they pause. They always pause. Not to hear your explanation, but to watch your micro reactions. Your eyebrows lifting, your half-second freeze, the way you inhale sharply or force a laugh you don't mean. Because the truth is, these little jabs aren't jokes. They're scanners. In psychology, we know people reveal their emotional weak points through micro reactions, and toxic personalities pick up on those reactions faster than you think. If shame makes you flinch, they see it. If guilt softens your voice, they notice. If defensiveness makes you ramble, they log that too. And here's the part most people miss. The emotion you react with first tells them exactly which button they can push later. That's their chapter 1. When you notice the joke that isn't a joke, you're already reading the first page of their playbook. Then comes the next chapter, the boundary stretch. And this one's even quieter. Toxic people don't break your boundaries. They stretch them, slowly, like someone testing the elasticity of a rubber band to see when it snaps. They'll say things like, "Hey, why didn't you respond for hours?" right after ignoring your messages for days, or, "Can you do me a quick favor?" And somehow it's never quick. Don't be difficult. It's not a big deal. You don't mind if I do this, right? These aren't requests. They're measurements. They're watching how fast you fold, how quickly you explain yourself, how uncomfortable you get when someone pushes past your line. Psychology calls this compliance testing. Manipulators look for low-friction entry points, the little permissions that make the next violation easier. And here's what they're actually reading: your tolerance for conflict. If you rush to justify yourself, they learn you fear being misunderstood. If you get quiet, they learn you hate tension. If you comply to avoid awkwardness, they learn you can be guilt-tripped. That's chapter 2 of their book. How far can I go before you push back? Once you catch that pattern, you're not confused anymore, you're decoding. But the real plot twist, the one that shows up in every toxic person's story, is what I call the reality flip. It's the moment they stop testing you and start rewriting the truth to control your perception of it. Suddenly you hear things like, "I never said that." You're remembering it wrong. You're overreacting. You're too emotional. Calm down. Notice what's happening here. They're not arguing about the situation. They're arguing about your ability to interpret reality. And if they can make you doubt your own perception, they can control the entire narrative. That's what gaslighting really is. Not confusion for the sake of confusion, but cognitive disorientation. Studies show that once your internal compass starts shaking, you naturally look to the other person for clarity. And that's the moment they gain control. Here's the part that makes everything click. When they start rewriting the story, it means they've officially moved from reading you to trying to author you. That's the point where you need to step back and read the pattern, not the words. Because if someone challenges your memory more than the moment itself, what they're really telling you is that they've entered the control phase. When you put all of this together, the tiny emotional scans, the soft boundary stretches, the subtle reality flips, You start to see the same predictable loop. It's not chaos, it's not mystery, it's a script, a psychological sequence, a set of chapters they repeat with anyone they think they can control. And once you recognize that, you stop taking things personally. You stop getting pulled into their plot line, you stop reacting, and you start reading. Part 2. How to outsmart them at their own game. 1. Unreadable presence.